Hey guys, it's Caleb with White Metal Games here, and this is an update status video from one of our clients. We generally do our status updates through pictures, but I thought I'd try something a little different this time and do a little bloggy video and use my camera a little bit more. So primarily this video is for our client who has an Ultramarines project with us, and just to show him the status of his project and where we are. We're about the midpoint on this project right now, so we're about a couple weeks from being done. But we're looking pretty good right now, so I wanted to show him where we're at. So this is primarily for him, but you guys can also enjoy the status update. So this particular project is for an Ultramarines commission. It is basically 5 command guys on bikes, and here is one of the bikes to sort of show you a sample model. There we go, that's nice and focused. So what you can see here is that it's a pretty standard Ultramarines blue bike. The client had very specific color choices in mind, wanted to stick very traditional. We have used a brownish leather with a reddish hue for the seats this time to sort of have a nice contrasting color to pick it out. And you can see there on the wings, on the manifold, that darkish brown color is where the gold is going to go later. I like to lay down brown as a base color for gold because gold has a real transparency to it. So you can see here the major colors on the bike have all been picked out. We got to apply a few washes to create some depth, but overall looking pretty good. All the bikes are pretty much that way, and the command squad, he wanted them all to have white helmets. So on this one you can kind of see if I can get my hand to help focus. There we go. Looks like it's trying to focus. Good. So you can see there the helmet is white. Now on this particular client he wanted the helmets to have a blue lining. So what we did is we created a blue oil wash and used that to pick out the details but without marring the white. And I think it actually works really well. This is a technique I learned from Schnauzer Face Minis, who uses a lot of oil washes, and I thought it was a really cool idea. I'm starting to experiment with oil paints and oil washes, and I'm finding some really good results from those. But as I mentioned, it's one of those things, it's kind of an experiment, a work in progress, and so far I'm very, very pleased with the results. So the one nice thing about this particular project is that he wanted an Apothecary on bike, which was fun. So we got to build an Apothecary using the command squad bits. Because this is a command squad, we used a lot of these little insignias like that little bit right there on top of the manifold. And we used these wings that were originally from a Dark Angel kit, but fit the Ultramarine theme really well. And I like them quite a bit. There it is, focused. Good. So that's nice. I think I've got a couple of helmets right here you can see mounted that I've left off for painting purposes, and those are coming along well. So yeah, looking good. This particular client also wanted some Inquisitors with this, so we got to do a couple different things. First off, we have a Cotiaz. This is about the midway point. Now this particular client paid for a higher value paint job, which means we just spent a lot more time on the model. In this model you can see that the cloak has a lot of different layers of color and depth there. And we spent about four or 5 layers of red, building up from a very dark red to a much brighter red at the folds. And he wanted white armor for this particular Cotiaz, so we started off with a gray primer, moved up to a white base for shading, and then we're going to use some white to highlight it. So there'll be about 3 layers of white by the time it's all said and done. And I think the white is going to contrast really nice with the gold details, the red cloaks. And then he wants some OSL on the hammer. We're going to pick that out in a nice bright blue. So it's going to create a nice third color contrast, and it's coming along well. Another nice feature of this project was he wanted a scratch-built Thunderfire cannon to match this other one we just did. So we scratch-built this from spare bits. Looking pretty good, I think so. And we've also got this, what we see right here, a Tech Marine. This is a Tech Marine for the Thunderfire cannon, also a scratch build. We started off with a Ultramarines, he's a tank sergeant, I think, I forget what his name is, but we used just a bunch of spare bits to create this really neat servo harness that I think is looking pretty busy and pretty nice. Got his nice Adeptus Mechanicus axe over here, so yeah, see if I can get it to focus a little bit better. One of the problems with the bloggy and the light is that it has a little bit of difficulty focusing, but it looks like there it's trying to. Good, looking good. Another nice feature of this project for an Inquisitorial project is that he wanted a Velarium model, which I had never built a scratch built one of these before, so she's coming along well. Like the other Inquisitors on the project, he wanted white armor, so we went with the white armor. She doesn't have a ton of armor, so we used the red as a contrasting color there, and again we picked out the cloak with a bunch of different reds, just a bunch of different layers to really build that up. She's got this nice little cube here in her hand that we're going to OSL with, I think, a green color maybe. It'll look nice, pop out. And then he wanted this sort of hair hanging over her face to create sort of a mystique to her. And I really like that quite a bit. And you can see her belt has all sorts of different trinkets from her scavenging the galaxy. One more Inquisitor, sort of a Witch Hunter Inquisitor. Also, he wanted in white armor, and I also translated that out to white clothing as well. So the Inquisitors are all going to have a very, very similar color style and color look. And I think it's actually coming along really well. And my phone just tweeted, so that's what that is. Sorry about that. And we gave him this nice old-looking las pistol to sort of show his individuality and his weapons being very, very odd and different. So yeah, so that's the project as it's coming along, so I hope you enjoy this update video. Another update, we are still working on the Necrork project, and Thomas, aka Go Boy, made a recommendation that we include some tomb spiders in the army list, because in the original army list they were not included, but in the new army list we wanted to create some variation, some sideboard choices, particularly since orcs are coming out soon. And we wanted a client who wants to go to the army, either Necrons or orcs, to have some options. So we're going to do 3 tomb spiders. We're using Killicans as a base model. We've assembled the basic torsos here. And generally the way this is going to work is we're going to use the Killicans as torsos. We're going to use these bionicle legs to create the spider legs. That's going to go onto the sides. And then we've got some additional Necron bits to use for like other doodads and stuff, and to create a spider-like look. So those will be assembled in the next couple days, and those will be added onto the Necrork project, which is about the midway point of painting right now. So once that's done, that will be ready, and we will be able to share that with you guys as well. And that will be added to the Necrork project, and that will be up for sale here in the next, I don't know, 2 or 3 months. So looking forward to that project being done, and once that is done and sold, we'll be moving on to our next themed army. We've got a couple themed armies that we're interested in doing. One of them is an Adeptus Mechanica scratch build army. Another one is a Dark Eldar army with Chaos allies, which is I forget what it's called, but it's the Dark Eldar who are trapped in the Eldar who are trapped in the Eye of Chaos. And we're really interested in that project, and that's probably my preferred project right now. But I'm also really interested in doing a scratch build Adeptus army. I've always wanted to do one, and I've been gathering bits for a while. So hopefully after July, when this is all done with, the current projects and current clients have got their orders, we'll be able to move on to our next projects. And so look forward to that. So that's about it for today. Thank you for tuning into this update. And until next time, put your minis where your mouth is.